All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of the Carolina Cast podcast. I'm here with channel owner Chris Verma, Matthew Sadik, and Jake Morgenstein. Today, we're doing NFL win over-unders. This is officially sponsored, but not sponsored by FanDuel because they're providing the odds for today, so we got to thank them for opening this to us. First off, I'm going to start with the Minnesota Vikings, a team. They lose Dalvin Cook, they lose Adam Thielen, and that defense still cannot guard a piece of cardboard. The over-under is 8.5 wins. I'm going to send this one to Matthew first. 8.5.
I'm going to go with the under. I do not believe they're going to win this division. I think the Detroit Lions are winning the division. And the Minnesota Vikings have around a mid-schedule. You could say it's a little bit tough. There is no chance that they are going to win over 8.5 games. Justin Jefferson, he's the best wide receiver in the NFL. When you have Kirk Cousins throwing the ball to you, there is no way that you're going to win over 9 games. They did it last year. This team defense has gotten nothing but worse. They've gotten older, they've gotten worse. They lose Adam Thielen, who actually had a pretty decent season. Not anything amazing, but he is a weapon, and he taught Justin Jefferson, I'm sure, a lot of moves since he is a veteran. And I believe the Minnesota Vikings will win 7 or 8 games. I think 8 games maximum.
Yeah, and you have to keep in mind here with this Vikings team, easy division. They do have the Packers and Bears. That's 4 games, so maybe why this one is a little high. I'm going to send this one to Chris now for the Buffalo Bills. 10.5 wins, higher or lower?
Oh, definitely, most certainly higher. I'm going to go higher with the Buffalo Bills. Listen up. Josh Allen, I know the Madden curse can come into play, but Josh Allen will be a good quarterback this season. I do not think he'll win MVP, but I do think the Buffalo Bills will be the crown of the AFC East. They will go 13-4 is my record this year. Stephon Diggs is going to be an elite receiver for Buffalo this year. Gabe Davis is taking the step up. I mean, that wide receiver core is pretty good. And also, they drafted tight end Dalton Kincaid. I think that was a very good pick right behind Dawson Knox. That offense is stacked. And then you still have Tre'Davious White, Micah Hyde, and Jordan Poyer on defense. This Bills team is complete.
All right, I'm going to send this one to Jake, which is the most popular FanDuel bet. It is the Dallas Cowboys at over under 9.5. Keep in mind, the only other team that have won 12 straight in 2.5 games, in 2 straight seasons, is the Dallas Cowboys and the Kansas City Chiefs. Jake, I'm going to send this one to you.
Well, the stats aren't going to back up this stat. They're going to go under this 9.5 win mark. They are in my mind, the second toughest division in football. They have 2 games against the Commanders, 2 against the Giants, and 2 against the Eagles. And I say that they take 1 out of 5 or 2 out of 4 in those division games. And that sets them up in not the best spot to get a 10-win season. Plus, they're out of division games are tough as well as they need to play the AFC East division. That's the Bills, the Dolphins, and the Jets, as well as the Patriots. I don't see them getting 9.5 wins.
All right, keep in mind the number for this one is 404 Gambler. That is 404 Gambler for this one. As the Dallas Cowboys, America's team, obviously, it's just not been going well for them.
And it really has not. And you know what? We've had arguments about this before, about Dak Prescott and how he plays for the Dallas Cowboys. Me personally, I really don't think Prescott is all that. I do think he's a good quarterback.
I'm going to have to pause you right there.
We have a caller.
We have a caller. It's Kalen Patel. Kalen, where are you from?
What's up? It's Kalen Patel calling in from Antarctica. So, my favorite player is Deshaun Watson, so I was wondering what you think about the Cleveland Browns.
All right, well, I'm going to be honest here, coming from I'm going to give you real talk here. I think that the Cleveland Browns have a potential to get second place in the AFC North. Nick Chubb is a really underrated running back, and Deshaun Watson, there's no way that he can have a lower performance than last year. I'm looking at this Cleveland Browns team. Cleveland, that is just... I thought we were going to get a Cowboys fan right there. The over-under is 9.5 too, so they're the same as the Cowboys. I'm going to be bold. I'm going to do something that is very ill-advised and bet on Deshaun Watson. I'm going to pick over 9.5. Matthew, what do you think?
I'm going to go, they go 9 and 8. I think they're going to be amazing. I think Deshaun Watson is going to be a top 5 MVP candidate. I think he's going to have a bounce back year and be just like he was back in Houston with the Texans, where he made the playoffs. He did have a great wide receiver, D-Hop, back then. Now he has Amari Cooper, who I believe is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, easily top 15. He probably is a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL. Like Sam said, Nick Chubb, in my opinion, he's a top 5 running back in the NFL. This Browns team is amazing. You also got Myles Garrett on defense, who I think is one of the best edges in the NFL. So the Browns are going to go 9 and 8. Maybe they can get that 10th win. I believe they will come second and third in the division.
All right. Well, looking at a team with a rookie quarterback right now, the Indianapolis Colts. Over under 6.5 wins. They only got 4, I believe, last year. Chris, what do you see out of the Colts?
You know what, man? I gotta say higher. I really like their head coaching hire because, listen, this Colts team, they've got a few pieces. I mean, Anthony Richardson throwing the ball to Michael Pittman is going to be huge. The running back is still Jonathan Taylor. And maybe they don't have the best defense in the world, but that's why you bring in a former, I believe, defensive coordinator from the Philadelphia Eagles to step in. And, I mean, this team is going to be really apart for the Colts, and I think this is a winning team in a few years.
Yeah, I mean, I got to agree. This division, I'm looking at the AFC South here. It's like putting Ben Simmons and Rudy Gobert in one room and asking one of them to make a three-pointer. There's just not a lot of talent in this division right now. I think over 6.5, people forget how good Jonathan Taylor was. So, before we end the show, I'm going to give my guy Jake here one more. It's going to be the Arizona Cardinals. They are currently the laughingstock of the league with no Kyler Murray. Keep in mind, he is expected to come back right around Call of Duty time. 4.5 wins, Jake. What do you got?
Give me the under, man. Kyler Murray, once COD comes, he is not going to be the same quarterback. His fingers are going to get very tired. He's not going to be able to throw the ball very much as he's going to be sitting playing video games all day as well as his very tiny hands that he has. And Kyler Murray is not the quarterback that the Cardinals need. The team is just a bombshell. It's horrible. Nobody wants to be on this Arizona Cardinals team, laughing stock of the NFL, going off of your words. And I just think that the under seems right for them. 4-12 is where I think that Kyler Murray's COD hands are going to go.
Yeah, well, the COD hands, obviously. And looking, Colt McCoy going to start week 1 against the Washington Commanders. I mean, that is just 31 versus 32 at that point right there. So, before we leave the show, because we do have a little more time than I thought, I want you to give me your one surprise team, but you only have one sentence to tell me why that you think that they'll be good.
The Carolina Panthers. This is because they draft. Oh wait, one sentence. This is because they drafted Bryce Young, and their defense is young, they're talented, and they're going to win the division since they're in one of the easiest divisions.
All right, Chris Verma.
The Miami Dolphins with a healthy Tua Tagovailoa.
All right, I'm going to go the Jacksonville Jaguars. Easy division. I think that they can potentially get the 2 seed with Trevor Lawrence, breakout year, 3rd season.
Indianapolis Colts. Anthony Richardson is a dog.
All right, well, that's all for you live in the ATL at SBC. For Jake Morgenstein, Chris Verma, and Matthew Sadik, I'm Sam Durham here on another episode of a Carolina Cast Football Talk Show. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in.